Hey, that's Tim. We're recording for the DVD today, so sweet if you came by the studio, get some good footage. Better come looking good though. Alright, see ya.
Shadows Our Security was recorded in January of 2005.
Most of the recording was done at Big Fish Studio, which is about 10 minutes from where I live in Encinitas, California. And the remainder of the record was actually done in our engineer's apartment. I actually did vocals in his closet.
As far as a lot of the writing on the album, Phil had written a lot of riffs and Tim had done a lot of the arrangements.
Tim Lambesis takes a whole lot of pride in the things that he does, whether it's anything from, you know, writing a song to our stage presence, our stage setup.
Well, the good news is at least we figured out what we're going to do for the key changes, right? For the most part.
Yeah.
If we haven't, we'll get here a little bit early and figure that out.
Okay.
So we're not discussing it while we're tracking it.
He has a lot of good ideas, like little like small things that we don't necessarily think of, as far as like the way the album starts off with like kind of like, you know, like a reverse symbol into the first hits of Meaning and Tragedy.
This one I think we got. I mean, these good guns felt pretty good, but like right here, that second ring, I think.
Yeah, fourth record that me and Tim have done together. You know, so it's been, you know, me and him have been in the studio and understand each other in the studio, you know, and we're, you know, we kind of knew, you know, obviously knew how to work with each other like before we got in the studio. You know, with the other guys it was different because it was the first time like in the studio with them.
You know, in the studio, I think he was the one that was there the entire time. There's no way that there's an hour in the studio that he wasn't there. He's one of the most unique people that I've ever met. And definitely, you know, talking to him about his lyrics or, you know, seeing his passion on stage, it's definitely inspiring. It's inspired me a whole bunch.
Is that what you
Actually,
did?
I gotta do. Try like that.
What Tim brought to the album was a lot of ambition. Tim's, you know, a go-getter with everything that he does, and I think just to make sure things got done, you know, he was kind of the, you know, cracking the whip of like, all right, we need to move on to this next thing.
Yeah, you know, recording drums first, I think it's a good thing and a bad thing. I think you feel the most pressure because you're the first one in there, you know, you're like, all right, I got to get in there and get it done, you know. But then it's so nice because you get done first and you just get to like, you know, relax and kind of like, you know, watch everybody else.
As the drummer, he's like the foundation of the recording process, and I was there for a majority of Jordan's drum tracking, and Jordan, like I'm really I love and am fortunate to be in a band with, because he has a good sense of the feel of the song, and he just has his parts down by the time we get to the studio.
Yeah, I wanted to get a drum set for my house, and you know, I was like, you know, why not get like every size that I can, you know what I mean, and just make a big circle around me, you know. So it's fun to play, you know what I mean. At home, I just have fun with it, you know, and have plenty of options for drum sizes when I get in the studio, you know.
It's kind of intimidating because it's just like, dude, I kind of wish you would have trouble on just a little part, a little bit of tracking, so when we go in there we don't look like idiots.
I say just do a couple options there, and then once we get the fill built and see how it sounds with it, because it sounds weird anyways with just the kick going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean the fills.
So once the fill's built, like it'll probably like sound like a little bit different.
Yeah, because
you
the
know?
fills.
It's like.
Yeah, and also with vocals, Ben's vocals come in early because that would definitely fill in that gap.
Yeah. I mean, I just wanted the drums on this record to be a lot more driving and you know, a lot more mechanical than the last one. You know, the first collapse, I mean, the drums were you know, somewhat mechanical, but I wanted to do like even more so on Shadows of Security.
He's a very tight drummer, solid drummer, and I think that's one reason why this band is where it's at, because of a very energetic, drumming style that Jordan brings.
I'll play like this set, which is basically like, right here. This is like one drum set, and I play. This is the one I play most of the time, and then I turn around and do this one. It's kind of like a small little kit. Kind of move around a little bit faster on it. Yeah, that's about it. And that's my collection of snare drums. These are all my babies.
He didn't play along to the guitar in the studio. Jordan just everything off memory.
All it was my drum set and my headphones and the annoying click track that I had to play along to. And that's another issue too, is just the click track. You have this like I don't remember exactly what the click track sounded like. It was like a cowbell or like a wood block or something like that, and you're in there for like 10 hours, 12 hours, and that click track definitely starts to get on your nerves and give you a headache. And there's a couple of times when I have like just a pounding headache, and I would go to bed at night like still hearing the click track in my head, like just because it was just like like constantly there like for like 10 hours straight, But it's all good.
Phil Scrosso is a riff master. Very precise, very consistent.
As far as tracking, it was like Phil did a lot of like the rhythm work on the album.
Phil was just really dedicated the whole recording process. While it might have taken a little longer to track guitars than we originally anticipated, it was because he was such a perfectionist and really put so much effort into the recording.
Just the button that bothers you?
It's that bang.
That's all that bothers you?
Yeah. It
Okay.
doesn't sound smooth.
Really? I kind of like it. What if we did like every other one?
I think what it is I'm bending it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool to have like like another person like in the mix, you know what I mean, as far as like riff writing and stuff like that.
I think that he has a certain touch that every riff he plays morphs into this melodic onslaught of notes.
Phil's usually not on time for anything, but in the studio he was pretty on time.
Time to go to work.
I'll just sit like this, GQ elegant. Can this please make the DVD somehow? Just this right here? You getting this? That's right. You're gonna be on TV.
We've done all the guitar stuff, and we didn't even do that riff. This is not good.
You blew it.
I didn't blow it. Hang on. I'll be right back.
Go to my house.
Okay.
Oh shoot, we didn't record that riff. They took the guitars down. Oh no. Recording this album was fairly stressful, I think, for a number of reasons and for different people, different reasons. With all of us, except for Tim and Jordan, it was our first time actually to have a presence on an album, on an As Lay Dying album. So yeah, there was a little bit of like pressure and stress that went along with it, and you wanted to feel like you lived up to the expectations that the other band members had for you, and even like the original band members had for you.
Yeah, that's it. It's new bass line. The new bass line! He's kind of the thumbs up, thumbs down guy. You know, we show him a riff, we show him a song. He's always like, I like it or I don't. And he's sometimes the best judge because he just goes to the initial feeling. He doesn't care how hard it is to play or who wrote the riff. He just thumbs up, thumbs down. You know. For me, I'm there as a producer, you know, and for Nick, I think having been the most recent guy to join the band, he just had that like excitement to be there, you know, and he just wanted to be a part of everything.
I remember when we were doing pre-production, he was kind of writing the solo on the spot before he was about to record it, and he was just practicing it for so long over and over that the string, like copper or whatever it is, nickel, whatever it is, was coming out on his fingers. So he had these like gray fingertips, and because he was just shredding so hard on it that started wearing off.
On my parts, I came in there and I just kind of went for it, and I was a little bit nervous because it was like the first actual like recording I was doing with As Lay Dying, and I didn't want to blow it in any way.
The solos he wrote on the record, I think, have the feeling that they do because he was so in tune and in touch with what was going on when we were writing each song, and how each part came together. You know, so when it came time to lay down a solo, it wasn't just like some dude, you know, playing as many notes per second as he could. It actually has a melody in it.
Solo.
Since it was my first time recording, it was a little stressful, it was a little hectic. Meeting deadlines wasn't exactly the easiest thing.
That's not it though.
Just play this. Okay, what do you play normally? Just play everything exactly how you played, but start there. Try that. Just try it.
Nope.
Yep.
There were a few instances where people are kind of butting heads, but I guess what we had going in our advantage or in our favor was that we were at home.
How about this, Nick? Nick, stop playing guitar and listen.
I'm listening to you. If any problem that was too big to handle that day, we could go home and think about it. We weren't stuck in, hotel room with each other all day and then at a studio all day.
All right. You after the like a ring out kind of like, and then go into like some sort of like. Like a real, like a
After like we also took up a number of recreational activities. There's no question who the best basketball player in the band is. I mean, it's me, no question, hands down.
Of course Nick would say something like that.
Oh! Eyes closed, shirt over the head. Raindrops. When I throw that ball up in there, I just whisper one phrase, and that phrase, or one word, and that word is raindrops, and it comes down so smooth, right through the net, like a raindrop. It's beautiful. It's a work of art, actually.
I don't think Jordan can really dribble too well. I don't know if you have footage of that, but if you did, that would be great to show.
We spend most of our time playing music and not sports, so I mean that probably says a lot. Oh, that was nice. Yeah, I can bust out a couple trick shots every once in a while if I'm lucky. Oh.
Are you kidding me?
We weren't really able to record as fast as we thought, we should be able to record. Jordan and I were the only ones with a lot of studio experience, so the guitars took, maybe like 5 days longer than we thought. Once those were all done, I was kind of rushed doing the vocals, and I planned on doing a song a day, but I ended up doing, 3 songs a day vocally, and that was a little stressful. And I actually finished recording my vocals at 4 in the morning. The day we left for Japan, I had to be to the airport at 6 in the morning, so I was literally on my way home, grabbed my clothes, and went to the airport. Hey Steve, do you think you bring the vocal mic tomorrow? No, I think tomorrow I'd like to at least kind of give a song a go. That way I don't know just how long it's going to take to do vocals.
Okay. Let's do that. Alright, I'll let you have it.
So you hear that crack? That means I've been going at it for a while. Let's do this one. Fingers in my cheeks, make a little motorboat sound. That's always a good one. There are no smooth-looking warm-up exercises. Then there's that's a couple of them. I'm already halfway shot, so I'll just see what I got left. I like what I did there for more variation's sake. Particularly like mid-range lower stuff is better for me when my voice is shot, and the high range is better for me when I'm fresh. It just smooths over the gargle, I guess that's what it is. When my voice is shot, I have no gargle in it. Okay, I'll try to get them back to back. Vocally, I didn't really take a different approach on this record as opposed to the last. I think, I just knew that, I had to just go in there and scream my brains out, I guess. Was that a little stronger or not? Yeah, I was also thinking something cool. You know how it kind of goes, ee, and then yeah, it kind of kicks in? What if there was just a double on when it kicks in, like yeah, kind of. But I'll have to do yeah again too, otherwise I'll screw it up. Okay. My other one was longer. Oh, and then there's another double after this. Some vocalists have the thing where they can go in and they can perform at 60% and they actually sound better, or people scream a little bit louder than what I'm talking right now. And for me, I only sound like myself if I'm absolutely, pushing my voice as hard as possible. And that makes touring, I think, a little more strenuous on my body than the average singer. But that was the mentality I had going into the studio, and it's just something that it's my style, and there's really no other way that I know how to do vocals. We toured a Throwdown right before we recorded the record, our last tour, and I remember hearing Matt do background vocals, and he sounded like, he was getting murdered, like he was just screaming for his life. I really wanted to have his voice come and kind of fill in some of the gaps where, where there's kind of like this in-between phrasing where there's there's that perfect hole for background vocals.
That whole part?
What have I learned from yesterday?
Okay. That's too tacked, dude.
Seriously?
No, I'm kidding, dude. Come on.
Get in there, dude.
What have I learned from yesterday?
This has like a somewhat of a gang vocal feel without being full gang vocal. I don't want it to be like gang vocal, you know?
Oh, so he's following you.
Yeah, he's basically doubling me, but he's enough different that it sounds like somebody else. And what's funny is my when I sing higher, it's a lot like what Matt's voice sounds like. So as much as I love the way it sounds in the studio, so many people can't figure out where he's sang on the record because our voices end up sounding somewhat similar. But he actually sang on both Meaning and Tragedy and Confined.
Steve Russell's a sweet dude. I love that guy.
Steve Russell, working with that guy, I've heard so many stories when they recorded Frailwords Collapse. They loved the guy, and I was excited to get in there and meet him, but he wound up, being pretty stern, and to the point I was ready to joke around and talk about his life and talk about my life with him. But it's directly to the point, which is super good. I'm glad he was.
Yeah, he did our last record, he did this record, and it was cool to go into the studio with the same engineer, because you're already comfortable with him, you know him, you know how he does things, and he understands how you do things.
He has an amazing ear. He heard things that I didn't hear.
You're gonna be sharp. I'll strum it straight down. So however.
Yeah, Steve is a really cool dude. He's really mellow. He didn't have a temper, and he didn't get pissed off about things, which was sweet.
What you can
The
do.
only thing we'll leave is just the rhythm volume. Everything else will just be up.
No, what I would do, because you never use this one, these would be all the way up and then cut them, and then this one would be all the way down and then cut that.
Yeah.
And then this one will be free. So if he happens to flip his switch up, when he needs to flip the switch up, he could just cut the.
I mean, he took this job very, very personally, and wasn't worried about this per hour thing. I think most guys, engineers at least, that have been doing it for as long as Steve has, will just show up when they absolutely have to, and they're looking at the clock all day. And Steve was pretty hungry to try new ideas.
You want someone with humor, good attitude, good spirit. It's definitely good to have a person like that in the studio with you.
This is quite possibly some of the most unprofessional audio gear you can possibly buy, but for getting our ideas down and just being quick, this was what we wrote almost the whole record on. I'd say 80% of our record was written up in this room right here. Actually, every song except for Through Struggle was written and first recorded on this piece of junk right here that they don't even make anymore, and then mixed very finely on these high-tech computer speakers. But it was a very quick way to write, so that I could program the ideas I had, the basic ideas drum-wise. We could throw down some guitars on there and then burn a copy, run a practice, and show everybody, so that we didn't have to spend a whole bunch of time explaining how the song goes. We could just show them how the song goes. Yeah, this is where the next As the Dying record will first be heard, is here in a very poor format. The title, Shadows Are Security, comes from the concept, and later in the record, almost at the very end, there's a song called Control is Dead, and it's about realizing, essentially that we're too weak to truthfully be in control of our lives. We feel like we are so often, but since we're such emotionally driven people, it's realizing how we're not in control that helps us get over, our emotional state as people, and to actually, like I was saying earlier, learn to live by commitment and sacrifice, and things that are more concrete.
Even though I didn't write the lyrics, I really do like talking about what the album means, and the whole love and sacrifice thing. If you really love someone, there's definitely an amount of sacrifice that you will do for them, and that I think sometimes needs to be done, because there's I think a lot of times people need proof that you're in love with them, and that sacrifice definitely comes into play there, I think.
It's metal and it's energetic, but I think it's very positive and uplifting in a way, and that's that's why I'm so proud of it, because I feel like our music is very aggressive and like meaningful at the same time, you know. So I just hope that's something that people who listen to our music can take from it.
You know, shadows are things that are there for 1 minute and gone the next, you know, and it has to do with the fact that we find security in these meaningless things, these, you know, very fleeting and just times of our lives that we feel like we've found something to grab onto, and then we turn around, you know, and all of a sudden it's not there anymore.
To hear someone's perspective on a circumstance and to hear the way they've dealt with something or their feelings on a subject, it really makes me feel like I'm not as alone, or that there's something that's not just wrong with me, it's something that everybody deals with, or it's a concept that everybody can grasp.
The CD is about a transition, you know, when I'm searching for that meaning, what is worth, you know, investing my life into, and to realize it's not this emotional love that I'll feel for a moment, but it's something greater that I'll be able to feel, you know, for a lifetime and essentially throughout eternity. Like the song "Through Struggle," of being, you know, about halfway through the record, I think really represents, it's only through that kind of struggle that we're able to get to the next level and to really actually enjoy life on a deeper level.
There's my shit like juice. Yes, the touch of make me feel the settled thoughts that face the way. Let the struggle, have I found rest? Let the struggle, have I found rest from me? This deception that I got up, that I got